Hello everybody, this is Sharon from Sharon's Crochet Design, and today we are going to crochet a prayer shawl. A prayer shawl is just a shawl. The difference is you pray over the yarn, you pray over the process, and you can do it either for somebody that you know you're going to be giving it to, or just the individually or specifically, or you can pray over it that whoever will be the receiver, the recipient of this prayer shawl, will feel the love and the comfort and know that this shawl has been prayed over while you're hooking it, creating it. So let's get started with the supplies. We're going to use, or I'm today going to use a Mandela ombre yarn. It's from Lion brand. It is 344 yards per cake. I use 3 cakes to make this. I'm gonna, it's 100% acrylic. It's a number 4 weight yarn. I like this yarn for the shawl. It's a good weight, the number 4 weight, but it's also very soft. And I love the colors in this one in particular. Is called Balance. The other one that I did that you would see in the beginning of the video was done also with the ombre yarn, but it was done in like two-tone blue. It didn't have the definite color changes like this one does. It was in a two-tone blue, just equally as gorgeous and soft. I made it for a family friend that's son was having some pretty serious surgery, and she was with him, and I made it and sent it to her to comfort her while she was going through that process with him. So this is the yarn I use. You can use any 4 weight yarn, or honestly any weight that you want to. I would just measure the length of it when you're doing your foundation chain, to make sure it's as long as you want it to be. The one I made, the blue one I made, and the one I'm going to make here will have fringe on it. You can choose not to put fringe on yours. That's fine. But this is the yarn that we're going to use today. You're also going to need a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. You're going to need a darning needle. I've said before in my other videos, I like the metal ones with the crooked ends. Just what my preference is. You're going to, of course, need a pair of scissors. And you're going to need stitch markers. So let's get started. Okay. So for this particular shawl, we're going to do 159 chains, but we're not going to do the standard chain. I like to do foundation chain. This pattern calls for half double crochets throughout. So we're going to start with half double crochet foundation chains. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And then I will show you why for this project and other things like this, I prefer doing the foundation chain. So to start with your foundation chain, you're going to pull the yarn over, poke through from the back, pull the yarn through, and you've got your slip knot. You're going to start with a slip knot. From there, you are going to chain 2, 1, 2. This yarn is so incredibly soft. Then you're going to do yarn over and hook into this first chain that you made, the second one from the hook. Pull up a loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through this very first loop. That is your chain. That's what's going to be considered your chain. When you're doing these, make sure you don't pull it down tight. Pull it up a little bit, give it some height. Then you're going to yarn over and create your half double crochet stitch. So that is your very first half double crochet foundation chain. I'm going to put in a stitch marker. You don't have to do this, but Especially if you're a beginner crocheter, just to keep up with what your first foundation stitch is, you can put in a stitch marker. So we're going to do number 2 now, and you'll see this is what your chain is. This was the other stitch that you did. You're going to turn, if you turn it up to look at it, you'll see that it has a V. If you can see that, it has a V. That's what you're going to work into. So you're going to yarn over, hook into that V. My eyes aren't working real great this morning. Work into that V. Both loops in that V stitch. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through. Now, this is where you're going to have the 3 loops on your hook. You're going to want to make sure you, like I said, pull it up tall. You're going to yarn over. You're going to pull through that very first stitch that you did. That's going to be considered your chain. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. That is your half double crochet. Let's do it again. See the V here? This stitch, that's what you're going to work into. You're going to yarn over. You're going to insert the hook into both loops of that V. Yarn over, pull it through, pull it up tall, yarn over and pull through that first stitch. That is creating your chain. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. That's creating your half double crochet. Let's do another one. Yarn over, insert the hook into that V through both loops in the V. Yarn over, pull it through, pull it up tall, yarn over, pull through that first one, creating your chain. Then yarn over and pull through all 3, and you've just created your half double crochet. One more time, and then I'll show you why I like using the foundation chain for this. You're going to insert the hook, yarn over and insert the hook, yarn over and pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first one, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3, creating that half double crochet. This is why I like using the half double crochet instead of just the chain when you're doing a shawl or a scarf or even a blanket or a piece of garment. If you do a regular chain stitch and then work off of that, it can be very tight. And some people will go up a hook size when they're doing chain stitches so that it's not as tight. I prefer doing the foundation chain. This one is foundation half double crochet foundation chain, and if you can see, it has some give, so you don't have that tightness down here. It can make your project wonky if you start with just the chain stitch. It can make it like curve a little bit. So I prefer doing the half double crochet foundation chain with this project. So let's do it again. Yarn over, insert into the V, yarn over, pull up a loop, bring it up tall, yarn over, pull through that first loop, then yarn over and pull through all 3 to create your half double crochet. One more time. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through that first one, then yarn over and pull through all 3. Now you're going to continue this process until you have 159 or 158 foundation chains, half double crochet foundation chains. So you continue this until you have 158, and then we will meet back up for the next row. Finish your half double crochet foundation chain until you have 198, not 158, I apologize, it's 198 half double crochet foundation chains. Okay, we have finished our 198 half double crochet foundation chain stitches, and the measurement is a little over 60 inches. You can make it longer or shorter if you want. Just be mindful of the yarn. You may not be able to get the width in it if you're using, 3 cakes, or, if you're not doing fringe, you definitely will have enough to add some length to it. But you're welcome to make it longer if you want. Just make sure if you're doing half double crochet foundation chains, then you want to do an even number. If you're going to start with a chain and then half double crochet back, you will start with an odd number. So right now we have 198 half double crochet foundation chain stitches. So we are going to now chain 1, turn our work, and then not in this first stitch here, we're going to start in the next stitch. We're going to do a half double crochet. Place your stitch marker to show you that that is your first half double crochet that you're doing for this row, and you're going to do half double crochet all the way across your work. You're going to end up with 198 half double crochets. So go ahead and do that. Again, if you're new to crocheting, half double crochet is yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a hook, the yarn a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. So half double crochet, again, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. That is a half double crochet. So you're going to want to do half double crochets in each stitch all the way to the end, and at the end you should have 198 half double crochets, and we will come back together and meet at the end. This is row 2. We will meet at the end of row 2. Okay, we have completed row 2. We've done 198 half double crochets all the way across. We are now going to chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to move on to row 3. Row 3 is going to be front post half double crochet and back post half double crochet. I'm going to show you how to make those. The first stitch, we're going to do just a plain half double crochet in that first stitch. Put in your stitch marker so you'll know when you get back to the end of that row that you're going into the right stitch. You do want to make sure, if you're new to crocheting, you might want to check behind yourself and count to make sure you're still at 198. Otherwise, your project will end up a little wonky, and you don't want that. So we've done a half double crochet. Now we're going to do a front post and a back post half double crochet. To do that, you're going to yarn over. Well, let me first show you. This is a post. This is a post. This is a post for your half double crochet from the previous round that we just finished. So we are going to do a front post half double crochet and then a back post half double crochet. And I'll give a little bit of ridge. Yarn over. You go beside this post through the back, pull your hook through, yarn over, pull it through, and then complete your half double crochet. That is a front post half double crochet. As you can see, it brings the post to the front. So it's a front post half double crochet. We're going to do a back post half double crochet, and it's basically the opposite of the front post. Instead of going in from the top, you're going to yarn over and you're going to come in through the back over top of that post. Pull your yarn up. I pinch my yarn here, just makes it easier for me. Yarn over, pull it through. You're going to have your 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and complete your half double crochet. That pulls that post to the back. So again, front post half double crochet is yarn over, go in on the side through the back, yarn over, pull it through, and complete your half double crochet. Now let's again do a back post half double crochet. Come in from the back, yarn over the top, put your hook over the top, yarn over, pull that thread yarn through. You've got your 3 hooks, yarn over, and pull through all 3 to complete that half double crochet. So you can see your front post, your back post, your front post, your back post. It just pulls, it gives a little bit of texture to your project. So we're going to do 1 row of this, and then we're going to switch it up a little bit, and it'll be a 2-row repeat until we get toward the end of the project. So right now, just continue. Do a front post half double crochet, and then a back post half double crochet. Again, front post half double crochet, and then a back post half double crochet. You're going to continue that all the way to the end of this row. This is row 3. And at the end of this row, you will have 198 stitches. Your first stitch is going to be a half double crochet, and then you're going to have your front post and your back post half double crochets. At the end of the round, in your very last stitch, you're just going to do a half double crochet in that stitch. So you complete this one along on for row 3, front post and a back post. So you continue, you can pause the video here, continue to the end of this row, and we will meet up at the end of row 3. Okay guys, we have come to the end of our front post and back post half double crochets. We started with a half double crochet, then we did half double crochet front post, half double crochet back post all the way across, and it gives it that lovely texture. And you can really get to see now why I prefer doing the foundation chain, half double crochet foundation chain, because it gives the give. With the regular chain, it doesn't give as much. So we are going to finish the end of this. I have done my last back post half double crochet, and this is why I recommend putting a stitch marker at the beginning and end of each row so that you see where to go, because it could be a little bit confusing. You did your back post half double crochet here, which is actually this stitch, but you're not going to do your last stitch in here. You're going to do your last stitch in this one that's marked. So in this very last stitch, take out the stitch marker. You're going to just do a half double crochet, just a regular half double crochet. That is your last stitch. You now have 198 stitches across. So now we're going to move on to row 3. And then we're going to do row 3. We're going to do row we're going to do row 4, then we're going to do row 5, and then it's going to be a repeat of row 4 and 5 until we get the shawl to the desired size. So this is going to be a row of half double crochet, very easy. You already know how to do it. So let's start with the chain 1, turn our work, and in this very first stitch, we're going to do a half double crochet. Put in your stitch marker, And then all the way across your project, you are going to do a half double crochet in each stitch. Half double crochet again, yarn over, insert hook, pull up a loop, 3 loops in the hook, pull through all 3. It's your half double crochet. So we are going to do a half double crochet all the way across the row here. And like I said, we're going to learn one more row after this, and then it's going to be a repeat of this row and the next row we learn until we get to the end of our project. So pause the video here, continue to do your half double crochet all the way across, pause your video here, and we will come back when we get to the end. Okay, we have come to the end of row 4. We're going to do our last half double crochet in this last stitch where your stitch marker is. This is 198 half double crochets that you've done in this row. So this is the end of row 4. Now we're going to do row 5. For row 5, we're going to do a chain, turn our work, and then this is going to be a repeat across of a single crochet and then a double crochet. Single crochet in one stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, and we'll do that all the way across. So in the first stitch, you're going to do a single crochet, put your stitch marker back in, then you're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch. So for a double crochet, you're going to yarn over, insert the hook, pull up a loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2, then yarn over and pull through the last 2. That is a double crochet. In the next stitch, you're going to do a single crochet. In the next stitch, you're going to again do a double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over and pull through the last 2. Double crochet. Then you're going to do a single crochet and a double crochet. A single crochet and then a double crochet. Get my working going here. Double crochet and a single crochet and a double crochet. You're going to do this all the way across. Single crochet in one stitch. Then in the next stitch, you're going to do a double crochet. You're going to do this all the way across this row until we get to the end. And then it's going to be a repeat of rows 4 and 5. So complete row 5, double crochet, single crochet, and I'll show you why I like doing this. It also gives it a little bit of a texture. It just makes it look pretty, and I love the colors of this yarn. We haven't even gotten to the blue yet. We'll be getting to that soon. A little bit of a purple. So if you're using this Mandala Ombre, I think it was called Bright. I don't have the label with me. I love the colors in this yarn. This is gorgeous. This is a color. This is a order that I'm doing for somebody, and they picked this yarn color specifically for this prayer shawl. And I love the way it's turning out. So, and I also, because this is a prayer shawl, I designed this pattern for, like I said, a family friend that son was going through some pretty major surgery. And I designed this pattern and sent it to her to comfort her while she was going through the process of the surgery and his healing and so forth. I prayed over it, the yarn, before I started, and then periodically I will pray over this yarn. I know the name of the girl that this is going to be for, and I just pray over it as I'm going. So if you wish to do that, that's just my process of when I'm making a prayer shawl. So again, we did a single, you're going to do a double, and do this all the way across. Pause your video now, and then continue with a single, and then a double until you get to the end, and we'll meet back up at the end. Okay, we have come to the end of round 5, and we've had a single crochet. In our last stitch, we're going to do a double crochet. Let's move this stitch marker. I'm going to do a double crochet in this very last stitch. Well, let me try that again. Double crochet in this very last stitch. There we go. Double crochet. So what we're going to do now is, so you've got 198 stitches across, and then the last 2 rows that we just did, rows 4 and 5, we're going to repeat 20 times. So it won't be 20 rows, actually it'll be 40 rows. We're going to repeat that sequence of rows 4 and row 5 20 times. So again, row 4 is chain 1, turn your work. It's a row of half double crochets all the way across. So we're going to pause the video now and then do your row 4 and then row 5. Row 4 is the half double crochet all the way across. Row 5 is the single crochet and then double crochet all the way across. So do that for repeat that pattern of rows 4 and 5 20 times. And then when we get down to the end of that, we will come back and see about getting ready for our fringe and then the last 2 rows of the shawl. So continue on 20 times repeat of a row of half double crochet and then a row of single crochet and double crochet across. And we'll come back at the end. Okay, we have gotten to the end of our repeat rows 4 and 5. We're going to end this last stitch again. This is the combination stitch of single crochet and then a double crochet all the way across. So we've done this. I actually did this for a total of 25 sets, repeat sets for this. At this point, the shawl measures a width of about 20 inches. And starting with the 4 cakes of the mandala yarn, I had enough to go ahead and do 25 sets of the rows 4 and 5 repeats. And I like the width of this. So now we're going to do a repeat rows of row 2 and 3. And we're going to do a repeat row 2 once and then a repeat row 3 once. Row 2 is the half double crochet. So you're going to start, we've done, let me see, did we do the chain 1? No, we just did not. So we're going to do the chain 1. And then we're going to do a half double crochet in this first stitch. We're going to put in our stitch marker. And then all the way across this row, we're going to do half double crochets. This is a repeat of row 2. So we're going to do this all the way across again for 198 stitches. Do a row of half double crochet all the way across, and then we're going to come back and do a repeat of row 3. And then we'll have one more row after that to finish off this project. So come back after you get to the end of this row. Okay, finishing up this row of half double crochet. Go into our last stitch here. Move our stitch marker. Again, 198 stitches. We're going to chain 1. And this is going to be a repeat of row 3. So we are going to do, in the very first stitch, a half double crochet. Put in our stitch marker. Then we're going to do front post and back post half double crochet again all the way across, just like we did for row 3. So we're going to do a front post, half double crochet, and then a back post, half double crochet. Get this out of the way so you can see a little bit better. It's got a good size to it, and it's just so soft and gorgeous, these colors. So again, we're going to do, in the next post, we're going to do a front post, half double crochet, then we're going to do a back post, half double crochet, front post, half double crochet, back post, half double crochet. Pause the video, continue this all the way to the end. Let's try that again. Back post, half double crochet. So pause the video, go all the way to the end. We will meet up when we get to the last stitch, and then we will do our last stitch of this shawl. Okay, we are at the end of the front post, back post, half double crochet stitches. We've done our back post, half double crochet, and then in this very last stitch, we're going to do a half double crochet. Take your stitch marker out. On our last row, we're going to chain 1, turn our work. Bear with me, it's a lot to turn. Getting a good size to it. Turn our work. In this row, we're going to do half double crochets all the way across. So a half double crochet in that very first stitch. Put in your stitch marker. And then in every stitch all the way across, should be 198 stitches, you're going to do a half double crochet. This is the last row that we will be doing for this project. So you complete this, and then we will come back and I'll show you how to weave in your ends and block it if necessary, and add your fringe if you choose to do fringe. So go ahead and complete this last row of half double crochet. Since we started with a foundation chain row of half double crochets before we did the front post to back post, that's why we're going to finish it with a row of half double crochet, just to make it uniform. So go ahead all the way to the end and do your row of half double crochet. Pause your video here, and then we'll come back at the end and complete this project. Okay, we have come to the end of our last row of half double crochet. You will complete this row by placing a half double crochet in this last stitch. Then you're going to chain 1. You're going to cut your yarn. Give it a little bit of a tail. You're going to work it in. Pull the hook through to pull that tight, and then I'll show you how to weave in your ends. Depending on how you joined your yarn, if you when you were adding the different cakes, the extra cakes to your yarn, if you crocheted over them as you were going, or you left them out, will depend on all the ends that you're going to have to crochet, or you're going to have to weave in. So let me move this around here. You're going to put this tail onto your darning needle, and then I'm going to just show you how I do it. You've already made a knot there, so it's pretty secure. I go in and out, weave in and out several times. Try to keep it in the same color when you're using a variegated color like this. Whoops, color yarn like this. Then I'm going to do it again in the opposite direction. I don't go in the same hole. I'm going to, where I came out, I'm going to go in a different place. And again, I'm going to weave in and out. I do it generally 3 times. So one more time, I'm going to come in at a different location, and I'm going to weave these in and out. You want to pull it, but not real tight, because you don't want to squish up that end. And then take your scissors, get as close as you can with, goodness gracious, please don't cut the yarn that you've been doing. So this is, you go through your project and find your places that have the ends left over. I know there's another one. This was where we started, so weave in. You're going to weave in your ends. Like I said, if you have any in the middle where you joined your yarn, I'll show you what I do. Get my needle again. What I do when I'm doing a row, adding color like this, I go ahead and crochet over several times over that yarn. Then I will put it in again, thread both pieces of yarn, because you're going to have 2 ends of the tail there, through your darning needle. And then I'm going to go back in the opposite direction and weave it in and out. And then just one more time. I am really crazy about making sure that my ends don't come flipping out of a project. So because I crocheted over 3 or 4 times that tail as I was crocheting the row, I still leave a tail on it, and I weave back and forth in the opposite direction twice and get all of your ends in. So go ahead and weave in your ends. Then, okay, we are back. We have completed our shawl, and now the only thing left to do is to add fringe, if you're going to add fringe to yours. So what I'm going to do is, and what I'm going to suggest doing is cut 140 10-inch lengths of yarn. You can do it longer if you want. You can, we're going to start at 140, and then we may have to cut some more. We may have some left over. We'll see as the process goes on. But we're going to cut approximately 10 inches, 140 strips of 10-inch pieces of yarn. Now, let me show you how I do it. There are probably 1,000 different ways to do your yarn, but this just works easy for me. I just take a book that I have. This is just a devotional book that I have, and I start with the yarn down here, hold it with my thumb. Now, I always do it on the open part of the book, because then I can put my scissors in there easier to cut it when it gets to that time. So I'm going to wrap this around 140 times, and that will give us 140 things of yarn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You continue wrapping your yarn around the book, or however works best for you, until you get 140 pieces of approximately 10-inch lengths of yarn. And then come back and we'll I'll show you how to add it to your shawl. Okay, I've wrapped the yarn around this book 140 times. So now we're going to clip this end. Then like I said, I slip my scissors through here and cut. It's going to take a little bit. It's extra for me because my muscles don't work normal. So we're okay. So we're going to get that cut. It's important to get it cut without cutting yourself. So we're going to cut our pieces. 140 pieces. There we go. Put this yarn to the side. Then we have our 140 pieces of yarn. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start with 2 pieces of yarn. And you can pick your colors however you want, because with this being a striped cake. So I'm going to pick a blue and a purplish color. Then we're going to start at the end here. And we're going to fold our yarn sort of in half, the best that we can. Try to even those ends out. It's not that important as long as it's close, because you're going to probably want to trim it up at the end. Then we're going to take our shawl and we're going to work from one of the edges, and we're going to put our crochet hook in through there, loop through the yarn, pull it through just enough that you've got your loop and you're holding on to the other end of the yarn here with your finger. And then grab it and pull it through. And that is how we're going to do our tassels. We're going to do 2 tassels in every couple of pieces. So we're going to see how many we end up with when we end up at the end of this blanket, the end of this shawl, the end of this edge of this shawl, and then we'll see if we're going to need to cut any more or not. So again, take 2 strands of your yarn, poke, let's just go in here, poke your yarn through. You don't want to come too close to the edge because you don't want it to, pull on it. Loop it through, pull it through, and then yarn over and yank that yarn through. And there you have 2. Let's do a couple more. Grab a couple of pieces of yarn. And the same thing. Put your hook through. Grab your yarn where it's folded in half. Pull it through. And then yarn over and pull that through. So we're going to continue this process all the way down this one edge of our shawl, and we'll come back when we get to the end and we'll see where we stand as far as if we're going to have enough to the other side, and we'll continue on from there. Okay, we have finished one side, and I like the way it's turned out there. I actually ended up using 78 pieces of yarn to do this this edge, and I think I'm going to keep it like that. Now, if you wanted to, so we will have to cut more than 140. We'll actually need a total of 156 to do the other side, just like this one. But if you wanted to add more, you could. You could add, you could come in between and add 1 and 1, or, however you want. This is your shawl, your project, your prayer shawl. You do it however you want. That's one thing I like to stress in my tutorials. Your crochet project is yours, and you do it however you want to do it that makes you happy. So, but we have finished with 156 we'll need total to do both sides. So we did 78 on this side. So I'm going to do the other side, and then we're going to come back. So after you finish your both sides, you're going to want to come through and check your edges and see. I may or may not trim it up. I probably will trim some of it up. But again, it's your shawl, however you want it. If you want it perfectly even, then you do it that way. You can cut some of the longer stragglers down if you want. But go ahead and do the other side of your shawl. Trim up the edges if you desire. And then we're going to come back. We'll have a completed shawl. And I want to show you one more thing that I add to mine before I give it to the person that's going to be wrapped in God's love. So finish both the other side, and then we will come back and finish this up. Okay, we're coming back. We have completed our prayer shawl. We have put our fringe on. If you used fringe, there's one more step that I do when I make a prayer shawl before I give it to them. I have these little cards that I make. Say you are wrapped in love. And I will include this in the link below so that if you would like to attach one of these cards to your prayer shawl, you certainly can do that. I just take a hole punch and punch a hole in the corner. And then take a piece of the yarn that we used for the fringe. And I just take my crochet hook. And somewhere close to the corner, it doesn't matter where, I just loop it through. Pull the yarn through. And then put a little tie on it. I usually tie a little bow on it. Like I said, I don't do a double knot. I just do a single knot and then a bow. Because when they get it, they will probably want to remove this from it. But this is the last step that I do. I think it's just an extra little piece of encouragement for the person that receives this. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel, like it, leave comments. I would appreciate that. And we'll see you next time. Happy crocheting.